What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. It's NBA Talk with J Money. We're trying to get some cash. It's Friday, man. It's payday for the people that's working the 9 to 5s, and it's payday here on the show today as well. We're trying to get some cash every single day, even if it's Friday or not. But we got our guy Steve Merril here today with us from Wager Talk. Steve, how you doing, my brother? Is everything
Jay,
cool with
doing
you over
well,
there?
doing well. We talk college hoops a lot this time of the year, but this is a pretty darn good time to be making money in the NBA as well.
Yes, sir, man. And let's get straight to it. Like I say, I hope everybody's out there having a good life, good day. Hope you guys have a good weekend, all that good stuff. Just want to say that before the show, you see what I'm saying? It's all positive vibes here on the show. Drop your picks in the chat, sides, totals, all that good stuff, man. We're all trying to get some cash here together. We're a community. It's us against the bookies, guys. First game up, we're going to the streets of Philadelphia here. We have the 76ers here, laying 9.5 points at the house versus the Portland Trail Blazers, Steve. And I hadn't seen a single person on the Blazers. Feels like everyone feels like this game is going to be easy for the Philadelphia cheesesteaks in this one. How you looking at this game, my brother?
Yeah, it's funny that we're talking about this because I just did Wager Talk today live. By the way, it's a Prez free zone this week, Jay, so it's safe for you to go
Oh,
watch. I was hosting
so I
this
can go
week.
watch it. Nah,
Yeah, it's safe. You're allowed to do it now because it was me and Teddy. And Teddy, actually, Tony Finn was on. Tijuana Tony Finn was on. He actually liked the over in this game. And then Teddy used it for his big game breakdown. He said, if you're playing it, you better be laying it. So I think you're right. Not many people backing the dog here. Hard for me to make a case for him as well. This line opened 8. It's up to 9.5 already. So we have lost a little bit of line value. But Portland's probably the way. I'm sorry, Philly's probably the way to play this. It's hard for me to get behind the Blazers in this one.
Yeah, I'm taking the Blazers here. Plus the 9. I took them last night. Plus the 9. It's gotten even better for us, guys. Up to 9.5. This is one where I don't agree with the line move. I'm glad Teddy used it on his big game breakdown, in my opinion, as well. But yeah, give me Blazers plus 9.5 in this one, guys. Like I said, took the 9 last night. I like it still, guys. You look at DraftKings. 93% of the tickets coming
Whew.
in on the Sixers in this one, guys. Looks like a mob type of game, in my opinion. So nothing's guaranteed. The Blazers defense does stink. I'll tell you that right now. They might get Simons back today, regards to that. The Blazers are on the outside looking in the playoffs. Every game is a must-win game. That doesn't mean they are going to win, but you're going to give me 9.5 points with the more desperate team. I see Doc Rivers saying that they're going to tinker in lineups, things like that. He wants to give McDaniels more minutes, which that's good, but running PJ Tucker at the 5 will not be good here. I'll be honest. I think the Sixers really have a chance. I think the Blazers might have a chance to win this game outright. I think the Sixers might lose this one outright. Coming off a 5-game road trip, guys. 5 games in 7 nights, all on the road. They come back to the house. 2 days rest. Remember, this was the exact situation that the Wolves were in the last game. You see how they looked in that game. I expect the Sixers to be moving a little bit slow-footed in this one, guys. Give me the Blazers plus the 9.5. I always say, guys, only bet what you absolutely love. If you don't feel comfortable backing the Blazers, you do not have to ride with me. This is something I'm taking, but give me Blazers here plus the 9.5. I actually like this play quite a bit, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Washington, D.C. in this one, Steve. Got the Wizards here getting a 1.5 at the house versus the Atlanta Hawks in this one. You think the Wizards can get some immediate revenge in this one?
Yeah, real quick on that Philly game, by the way, you bring up a good point. They had that awful defensive effort. They gave up 143 to Indiana. They'd given up over 50% shooting in 3 straight games, and then they locked down Minnesota in that last game, 39.5%. So you do wonder if they regressed a little bit now after what was kind of a focus spot. And that's the key for me handicapping the NBA is really trying to figure out which spots are focused, right? Because for the most part, whether you win or lose one regular season game out of 82, it's not going to make any difference. So you want to find focus spots. So the Wizards, meanwhile, coming off a tough loss against Atlanta, lost by 2 as a 3-point dog. Now they get the quick rematch, obviously. So it is something that catches my eye in that scenario. It's an angle that normally you look to kind of do a reversal. It's a zigzag like we look for in the NBA playoffs. Also like to look at the box scores, obviously, for totals. That game landed at 242 the other night. 237.5 was the total. Both teams shot lights out, though. 57-53 from the field. They both hit exactly 12 for 29 combined, exactly 41.5% from the threes. And with that said, they only got over the total by about 5 points. So I don't think there's much wiggle room for the over. It's set at 238. I'm not in a hurry to play unders in the NBA nowadays. As I mentioned, that Philly game, 290 points the other night with the Pacers. But they only got to the low 240s with perfection, basically. Now it's 238. So unless everything's perfect again, I think the under might have some room here.
Yeah, that's a good point there. Yeah, this is a tough one for me. I know that I'm only looking at Wizards first quarter, first half in this game. I'll be honest, full game, it's a true toss up in my opinion. Are the Hawks the better team? You damn right they are. But the Wizards are scrappy right now. This time around, they're not in the fifth game in 7 nights on a back to back, third and fourth. So you have equal rest this time around. In theory, the Wizards should come out here and cover the first quarter and the first half. In my opinion, like I say, full game, it's up in the air. But we know that when teams play these back to back games or whatever, the loser, especially the home team, likes to come out in that first quarter with emphasis, with the sense of urgency as well. I'd be really surprised if the Wizards didn't cover this first quarter, guys. Let me see what the line is, guys, because I feel like we have to play. Not have to. I mean, you guys can play whatever.
Hawks minus a half, Jay. I'm seeing like Hawks minus a half.
Yeah, Wizards plus a half in the first quarter. That should be the right side in this game. Wizards first quarter, first half should get there, but first quarter would be the top look for the Wizards to come out. That's when you have the peak revenge. That's when you have the best advantage in this game, in my opinion. So Wizards first quarter plus a half. I'll put some on it. I'll make a play on every single game today. I don't care, man. Give me Wizards in the first quarter.
So AJ, the first half line's a half also. So what do you like better? They're both a half, which is interesting.
I like the first quarter a lot better. I like the first quarter a lot better in this one, man. That's what I like in that one. Wizards in the first quarter, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of San Antonio here. We have the Spurs getting 12 points at the house. It's up to 12, back up to 12 and a half now. Well, touching 13s now, man. I did a night show last night. I was at 12. So Nuggets land 13 here, Steve. You think the Nuggets come out here and put it on these San Antonio Spurs here tonight?
You know, there's like a handful of teams right now that are very tough to back in the NBA. Well, first of all, Detroit, San Antonio, and Houston are like within a game or so of each other for the number one pick. Now, granted, they only have a 14% chance, and that has hit, by the way, the last 3 years. One of the 14% chance teams have gotten the number one, so I'm not sure it really matters how much they battle here, but they'd have nothing to play for. And Houston going in yesterday, I talked about this in one of the shows, they were a 9.5 point dog. They lost by 9. But I said all their other losses had been by 14 or more over the previous 9 games they'd lost. They won 2 games in between that span, and they beat San Antonio both times outright. So that's how bad the Spurs are right now, that they lost to the Rockets back-to-back times. So it's very hard to trust San Antonio, obviously. With that said, though, if you've blindly played these double-digit home dogs for the several decades I've been doing this as a full-time professional, you've made money. It's maybe not quite as strong now as it was 10, 15 years ago. These games are higher scoring now, more than ever, so the points are a little less meaningful. And the other concern I do have, though, is that Denver is coming off a bad showing as a 9-point favorite. They lose outright by 21 the other night. So, normally I'd lean towards the Spurs and hold my nose because big dogs have covered, but I want nothing to do with them in this game, especially with Denver in a focus spot off a loss.
Yeah, if I'm betting this game, I'm taking.
Got to play every game.
I don't have to. I want to take Spurs here plus 13. This might be something that I do personally. Like I said, I can't tell anyone to take the worst team in the NBA, and I actually made a vow not to bet this team for the rest of the season. This is a good spot for the Spurs, though. You could tell by them basically not resting anyone, right? What do the Spurs do? They'll rest 3 or 4 guys. They don't give a damn. There's only one person on the injury report, and that's the guy that's actually injured for the Spurs. That shows me at least for one game they actually care. And guess what? If you're going to show up for one game and you're a tanking team, it's going to be at the house. It's going to be versus a top-tier team as well in the number 1 seed versus the Nuggets. They got the number 1 seed locked up. There's no way I would lay 13 with the Nuggets in this game, guys. So personally, I'll probably be putting a little sum on Spurs plus the 13 here. You don't have to play. It's not official, but that's what I'm going to be doing, guys. Let's head over here to the streets of Miami, guys. I didn't even get to change the line. Darius Garland didn't go through shoot around in this one. Guys, you know how it is, Steve. All they have to see is that a player didn't go through shoot around in this one, man. So for them to move the line, so now you have the Heat here land 2 points at the house in this one, Steve. How you think if Garland doesn't play with their quad? How do you think this game plays out, my brother?
Yeah, that's what caught my eye as well, was the line reversal. They go from a home dog to a slight home favorite, at least mid-afternoon here. I'm doing the NBA show at 4:15 Eastern on Wager Talk TV later, so we'll have some updates on this game. I'm sure we'll talk about this probably as the spotlight game would be my guess. Ralph Michaels also talked about this an hour ago on Wager Talk today. By the way, Jay has a great chart you got to go check out on the show. Talked live betting, something we've never done before. He has a chart of how teams do favorites, home favorites, when they're down by anywhere from 1 to 5, 6 to 10, or more than 10 after the first quarter of the first half, how often they come back to win. It's pretty interesting stuff. And that's, once again, on Wager Talk today on Wager Talk TV. But we talked about this game. I think this is the spotlight game tonight. Once again, I think both teams will be focused. So unlike some other games we've talked about, we don't have to worry about the focus spot. We do have to look at the injury report. Cleveland, though, coming off 3 straight wins, including winning at Miami. So this is another one of those spots we get the quick turnaround revenge situation. So let's dig into that box score from 2 nights ago on Wednesday, in which Cleveland won by 4 as a 2-point favorite. Stayed under the total, 204. Total was 215, which is a very low total nowadays. That would have been like the 180s back in the day. And both teams, once again, shot extremely well, 50 and 49%. But they weren't that great from three-point range. So that tells me they were scoring down low, getting some consistent baskets. So even though the percentages were up there, if they hit anywhere close to their threes, this one might get closer to going over the total tonight. 212, by the way, it dropped from 214, I think, with the injuries as well. So we are getting a little bit of adjusted line value now if you're looking at the over.
I like it. Yeah, for me in this one, guys, I like the Heat in the first quarter and first half, man. I don't care if Garland plays or not. I think that makes it even better. If Garland doesn't play, I see in the chat something they're 10-0 without Garland. It's gonna be 10-1, man. This isn't the regular. This isn't the I feel like before, like in the previous parts of the season, the easy plays were cashing, man. But it's now time for the sharp plays to start back cashing this one. Garland does sit. You see how close the first game was, 104-100. They will miss Garland in this game if he doesn't play. I can tell you that right now. With him not going through shoot around, with him having a quad injury, I don't see them playing Garland, to be honest with you. So I don't care if he plays or not. This is a bounce back spot for the Heat. We know in the last game that Jimmy Butler had flew from LA. That was part of my cap in there while what I wanted the Cavs in there one. Now you got equal risk. Almost the same thing with the Wizards game. The Heat will come out here in first quarter and first half with emphasis, in my opinion, with the strong attention to detail, with the sense of urgency, my guys. So Heat first quarter should be the top play, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go ahead and take them in the first quarter and the first half. And I did take them this morning, first quarter -1. This is another one, Steve. This is the exact same game as the Hawks Wizards. It's the exact same game. And guess what? The first half is this first quarter and first half, exact same thing. Both of them at -1. I did already bet Heat in the first quarter -1. I'll take him in the first half as well. Give me Heat first quarter, first half in this one. Cavs aren't as strong on the road, guys. I know this Cavs team in and out. I've been backing them all year. Sometimes they are susceptible on the road to some bad offensive play. Tonight, if they don't have Garland, that's when it'll really show up tonight on the road versus the Miami Heat, who really need this win, guys. Heat first quarter, first half for me. Let's go over here to the streets of Minnesota here. Steve, got the Wolves here, laying 4.5 points at the house versus the Brooklyn Nets. What you liking in this game, my brother?
Yeah, the line opened as high as 5. It's now 4.5. Not much movement on the side, but we have seen some substantial movement at different spots on the total. I saw this one open in the low to mid 230 range, 232, 233 at other spots. Now it's 226, 226.5. So we're talking about a 6 to 7 point drop on the total. And I don't agree with it. I've said earlier, now I'm not in any hurry to play unders really in any NBA games. I'm well aware that Brooklyn has been struggling offensively, and I guess maybe that's part of the reason. We'll check the personnel issues also for what they have left, to be honest. But they have gone under 4 straight, and they've shot really poorly. That's the concern. They've shot 42% or worse in 3 of those 4 unders. With that said, though, they still scored 113 points or more in 3 of those 4 games. So what that tells me, Jay, is actually a good thing. That means the pace has been fast. They just can't shoot, and they're still getting points. So now all we need is a little bit of shooting, which I think will happen, by the way. I think they'll revert back to the norm. And Minnesota also, as you referenced earlier in that Philly handicap, coming off a terrible offensive showing, arguably their worst of the season, 94 points, 39.5% shooting. I use this a lot in the NFL, and I know you and I do really well in the NFL also. We handicap the NBA kind of similar, right? They're pro sports. These are professional athletes. These are all college all-stars. These guys can score. They can shoot. So when they're coming off bad offensive games, which both teams kind of are, I look for the bounce back, and then the icing on the cake is that we're getting like 6 to 7 points of extra line value now with this move down. I like the over in this one.
Yeah, and I heard the Wolves talking about that they were playing super slow in the last game. Steve.
Yeah.
I don't play totals, but Finch basically said we got to play faster, man. That leads me to believe that I could only look towards over in this one. Obviously, we don't know who's going to play for the Nets, but the Nets can give up some bad. They somewhat play fast as well. They can give up baskets inside the paint. They don't really have a real. Well, they did get Nerlens Noel, so they got Claxton and Noel, but we're not even sure who's going to play. Regardless of that, give me Timberwolves first quarter -1.5 here. This is a second of a back-to-back for the Nets. Now I know it's not the regular one. They have played they played like half their team last night. It's like the starters played the first. I have actually never This is a totally different version of the NBA, Steve. I mean, what are we doing? They first thought they rested 4 guys. The starters that they did have, they played them the whole first quarter, then literally sat them the rest of the game. You got Patty Mills, Drew Smith, guys like that out there playing. I had to watch the game because it was crazy. And they actually covered the spread versus the Bucks as well. I think that was the craziest thing. But regards to that, give me Wolves in the first quarter here, -1.5. What are we doing here? The Brooklyn Nets, 0-8 against the spread in their last 8 games on the road. It's going to be 0-9 after today, my guys. For whatever reason, the Brooklyn Nets have turned into the Indiana Pacers. They dropped the first quarter, and then then on in the game, they play better and better as the game goes on. Sometimes you just have to follow the patterns, guys. Watch these games. Notice the patterns that the teams are going in. The pattern tells me that the Nets come out slow every single game, and as the game goes on, they get better and better. Give me Wolves in the first quarter. I'd like to lean Wolves in a trifecta. I also lean that over with you, Steve. And Anthony Edwards assist, guys. I don't play a lot of props, but let me see y'all let me know what it is in the chat. Anthony Edwards basically come out and said, I got to get more assists. I think he had 0 assists or 1 assist in the last game. He says, I have to get my teammates open, get their shots going early. In this one, that led me to believe that saying we should be on Anthony Edwards assist in the next game. I wouldn't be surprised if he went for a double-double in this one. Anthony Edwards going off. The Wolves will cover this first quarter -1.5, my guys. Last game up here, Steve. Let's go over here to the streets of LA here. We got the Lakers getting 2 points now. The Raptors have since moved to a 2-point favorite here, even 2.5 at some spots. What are we doing in this game? We know that D'Angelo Russell is playing in this one, Steve. How you looking at this one, my brother?
Yeah, I actually cashed with the Lakers the other night for my clients at wagertalk.com, and we saw a little bit of a reverse line move in that game as well, right? The Lakers, I believe, open favorite, right in closed dog. I liked them either way. And here again, we did see the Lakers briefly open as a 1-point favorite. Now they're a 2.5-point dog across the board. Very little movement on the total. It's been pretty much held steady, really. No movement, 224.5. The Lakers are an interesting team. Obviously, I liked them the other night. I'm sorry, I said Minnesota. I meant Memphis against Memphis. They actually lost to Minnesota. I did not have anything in that game. Had a best bet against Memphis the other night, as that's the game in which they closed as a dog after opening as a favorite. I liked them the other night, obviously, on Tuesday. I'm a little more lukewarm now because they are off back-to-back wins. They have quietly won, by the way, 6 of their last 8. Both straight up in ATS. You know, it's like everyone's written them off now that LeBron's out, and they're actually playing good basketball, which is often how it works. Toronto, though, coming off back-to-back losses, bad offensive showing once again against the Clippers. They only shot 38.5%, gave up 55%. You know, what would you have thought they lost by? 20+? They lost by 8. You know, so they should have won that game otherwise. So I think this is a good bounce-back spot for Toronto. I cashed with the Lakers, as I said, against Memphis the other night, but I won't be on them tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. They're saying that this is over 3.5 at -165. There's no way in hell I'd lay -165 on the prop, guys. Even if I think it's easy money, I'd buy that up to 4.5. In my opinion, I will be taking the Anthony Edwards props in that one, guys. I will be taking his assist over. He's basically telling you that he's coming out dishing the ball. That's the only thing I need to hear. You see what I'm saying? So I will be taking Anthony Edwards assist over. Yeah, for this game, Raptors first quarter. First quarter, my guys. I won't even go into the details too much, but it's just one of the plays. If you want to ride with me, if you don't like it, you don't have to take it. But Raptors first quarter, I won't be a bit surprised if the Raptors cover a trifecta in this one. I actually do lean the Raptors first quarter, first half. Full game, this is another one where anything can happen. This is the 4th straight game for the Lakers at the house. They do have the advantage there, in my opinion. Raptors, this is their 5th game on the road trip, if I'm not mistaken. And last game of their road trip as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if they ran out of gas, but I do know that the Raptors will try their best to come out here with emphasis. Like Steve, you alluded to, they had a horrible shooting game last game. I expect them to pick that back up here. Lakers only really have one center right now, and that's Anthony Davis as well. So if he gets in foul trouble, remember the Raptors have a ton of long, lengthy guys. Got OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam. They got Jakob Poeltl now. Give me the Raptors in the first quarter -1. That's what I bet in this game. Like I said, I'll lean the first quarter. Full game, I'm not so sure. Then we're seeing it go up to 3 now, guys. So all the money is on the Lakers today, guys. The line is going towards the Raptors here as well. 2 straight games getting screwed out by and it's kind of what this way I look at it. 2 games they got messed up for the refs. They are going to owe them at some point, but obviously with the way Van Fleet told them, and we've heard refs say this before, when they have something against a team, they kind of just call shit against them, man. But regards to that, I'm getting in and get out in this one. Raptors first quarter -1. That's the only look for me. Steve, any looks on the total? You think this might be able to get over with D'Angelo Russell coming in there?
Yeah, it's interesting. The total hasn't moved at all. Like we were saying, it's exactly 224.5, not even a half-point move. So I think people are staying off the total. And I like the Raptors a lot here as well. So I'm going to not mess with the total, but I do like the side. And one of the I'll point out, Jay, you look at it, they lost at Denver, close loss, quality loss. Only lost by 8, like you said, but got thoroughly outshot. They probably should have won that game. And then they lost to Washington before that, then beat them in the rematch. So it's been kind of zigzag for the Raptors all season. You just feel like they're going to zig back on track tonight.
Yeah, no, that's a fact, man. I expect them to get it done in this one first quarter as well. And like I say, D'Angelo Russell coming in there for the Lakers, he's gonna mess things up at least for a little while, guys. Like it's gonna be good for the late. They need Russell. Don't get it twisted. But when you've been playing 4 or 5 games without a player, especially a player like a point guard, he's not really a pass first point guard. He's basically the exact opposite of Dennis Schroeder. He's not the greatest defender, and he's not. I mean, I can't say he's not looking for teammates because he is since he's been on the Lakers, but still, he's a totally different player than Schroeder. So the game flow for the Lakers is going to be a lot different. Darvin Ham is going to have to figure out his rotations as well. So the rotation is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit of adjustment period. Give me the Raptors in the first quarter -1, my top spot in that game, guys. That's it for the show, Steve. Hey, it's time to recap the free picks, the best bets. Let them know what you got going over at Wager Talk, my brother, and any plays for the show. Man, let's get some cash.
Yeah, I like the Raptors. I love the angle you're talking about the point guard. That's one of the reasons I was looking to fade the Clippers the last week or so with Westbrook in there. I thought from the start he would not help that team. We'll see if they can get things on track on the other LA team, but it's a good angle to play. So I like the Raptors. And then we mentioned earlier in the show, I think the Hawks and Wizards can't shoot any better than they did the other night, and they only went over by like 4 or 5 points from this total. So I'll look for that game to regress. So Hawks, Wizards under 238. I do have a strong NBA best bet tonight at wagertalk.com. I'll be back at 4:15 Eastern on Wager Talk TV here on YouTube, the NBA show. Jay's on that every week as well, usually on Wednesdays. And check out also, Jay, I've got a free college basketball contest right now on my page. If you pick enough questions, it's a Selection Sunday contest, so it's up right now. If you get enough tournament questions right, you're going up to a full year of my best bets, a $2,000 value, anywhere from 1 day to 1 year of free service. It's free to enter and it's fun. Give you a rooting interest when the brackets come out Sunday. Enter that right now, Steve Merril, wagertalk.com.
I like it. That's some good info right there. And that was under on Hawks game and Raptors, right? Just get there right.
Yeah, I like Raptors. Let's go Raptors -2.5. Hawks, Wizards under 238.
Hey, I like both of those plays, to be honest with you. I like both of those plays, man. For me, man, a bunch of plays. Give me Blazers in the full game plus the 9.5. I did bet last night minus the +9, guys. So just being perfectly honest with you, I took 9 last night. I still like it at the 9.5. I'd like to lean Blazers in the first half as well, but it's not something I'm taking. This is one where I'm just honing in on the full game. And Wizards in the first quarter. Give me Wizards in the first quarter plus a half in that one. I lean their way in the first half as well. Personally, I'll probably be putting the little sum on Spurs plus the 13. Don't take that play, guys. Like I say, it's personal. If you want to ride with it, that's cool, but that's not going on the official record. And now when Miami Heat first quarter -1, I also think they cover the first half as well. I'm going to think on this one a little bit more. I'm probably going to go to the sports book, do a show from the sports book as well, man. Game time official show from that one. Minnesota Timberwolves. I've been cashing these first quarters lately. Give me the Timberwolves in the first quarter -1.5. Brooklyn Nets 0-8 against the spread. Last 8 first quarters on the road, guys. Think it's going to be 0-9 tonight. Raptors, first quarter, -1 in that one, man. Bounce back J-Spot coming off 2 straight losses. Lakers, adjustment period to D'Angelo Russell. It may or may not have been a little party for the Lakers last night for Anthony Davis' birthday celebration, guys. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. It's Us Against the Bookies. Shout out to my guy Netsbets as well, man. He always showing love to the channel as well, man. I remember we did a giveaway with about 10, 15 shirts. Netsbets bought all the shirts, said give them away to people. That's a real one right there, man. And my guy has been hot as well. But let's get some cash. It's Us Against the Bookies, man. Y'all go check out Steve at Wager Talk. All of our guys at Wager Talk. Ski, Ronald over at Sports Memo, Rob Vino, all of our guys over there, man. But it's Friday. Let's make it a money-making Friday, guys. Hope you guys have a great day, a great weekend. Hope everything is going well in your life. Let's get some cash, man. We're out, man. Let's go. We will win.